Sin Fronteras, Western New York.
This is for you, mis hermanas y hermanos.
Where you can voice your thoughts on how we live, work, and play in Western New York.
Buffalo is in a renaissance, and Latinos are a huge part of our city's growth.
We want to hear your voice.
Llámame 837-1112.
Or hit us up on Facebook 24/7, 7 days a week. Talk with Samantha and Michelle, Sin Fronteras, Western New York, every Friday at 1 on WUFO 1080 AM.
Huepa!
Presented by the Hispanic Heritage Council of Western New York, dedicated to preserving the history of Hispanics in Western New York for future generations. You're listening to Sin Fronteras, Western New York at 1. Good afternoon, I'm Samantha Martinez.
And I'm Michelle Agosto.
Governor Andrew Cuomo is suing President Trump over hurricane response in Puerto Rico.
And Sin Fronteras, Western New York will bring you the latest events happening in our community this weekend, including today's live studio guest, Johnny Sanabria from the Hispanic Heritage Council, to talk about Hispanic Heritage Month kickoff.
According to the CDC, Latinos are 50% more likely to die from diabetes than whites. Find out how much more time you need at the gym to get those numbers down. The time is 1:05. Sin Fronteras, Western New York is bringing you continuing coverage of the recovery efforts in Puerto Rico. Governor Andrew Cuomo is suing the Trump administration over hurricane response in Puerto Rico. The governor says New York will lead the effort for displaced Puerto Ricans in the state. The suit claims the federal government failed to adequately respond and provide assistance following Hurricane Maria. He says the discrepancies between the recovery efforts between Hurricane Harvey in Texas and Hurricane Irma in Florida was inadequate when compared to the U.S. territory. The latest count of displaced Puerto Ricans living in the state of New York is close to 12,000 people. Boston City Councilor Anya Presley beat 10-time incumbent Democratic-Republican Mike Compano in the Massachusetts primary. If she wins in November, she'll become the only black member of the state's mostly white male congressional delegation. And her winning message is one that many Democrats may run on the midterm elections: the need for a more assertive style in the age of Donald Trump. Got your sneakers packed to work out today? Well, you might want to get more exercise if you don't. A new study says that about 1 in 3 women and nearly 1 in 4 men worldwide don't get enough exercise to avoid common illnesses. At least 150 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 minutes of high intensity exercise is recommended each week. Research shows that people who don't meet this bar are at greater risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, dementia, and even some cancers. According to the CDC, Latinos are 50% more likely to die of diabetes than whites. Coming up next, Hispanic Heritage Month starts next Saturday, and the Hispanic Heritage Council of Western New York is bringing you yet another year of cultural celebration that's jam-packed for a whole month. When we come back, Sin Fronteras West New York has a scoop on all the free, family-friendly events that's underway for the city of Buffalo. We'll talk to Johnny Sanabria of the Hispanic Heritage Council of Western New York.
And we are back with Sin Fronteras, Western New York, and this is Michelle Agosto, and we are live in the studio with one of our favorite directors of the Hispanic Heritage Council of Western New York, Johnny Sanabria, and he is also, honestly, a walking historian of Buffalo and Latinos in Buffalo. So, Johnny, thank you so much for coming on air.
Thank you for having me.
So, Johnny, we wanted you to be here mostly because you do have so much knowledge about the history of Latinos in Western New York. And of course, next week we start Hispanic Heritage Month, which is a really important month celebrating Latinos in the U.S. So I wanted to ask you maybe a little bit about yourself personally before we get started. Where are you from? Are you born and raised in Buffalo, or were you born in Puerto Rico?
Okay, first of all, I'm Spanish.
Oh, Spain.
I was born in Puerto Rico, and I grew up down the street from where we are now, WUFO.
WFO.
At 382 Michigan, at the first Spanish restaurant in Western New York.
Is that right?
Which was owned by my grandmother. It opened in 1932.
Wow.
And closed in 1969.
Wow.
And we went over my mother, and there's a big article in the paper from, I think, in the 80s about my mother and her sisters, all graduated from Canisius College.
Wow.
And they helped most of the Spanish when they migrated here do their paperwork. My father and my uncles helped a lot of people get jobs. And I followed in their footsteps. I came out of the service, and since 1968, I've been involved in the community. One way we did Paraka Puerto Rican American Community Association, the Roberto Clemente League, Boys Clubs, bilingual program, and I've been involved in that for the last, I want to say, almost 55 years.
Wow.
So I know I don't look that old.
You look good, John.
Very good. When you started naming those dates, I was like, wait, so then how old are you? Because you look great, Johnny.
To piggyback on that,
Mm-hmm.
most of the older people knew me through the restaurant because they all came first. Mostly the fathers came, started working, they brought their families. And they brought their families, they brought them to the restaurant because the restaurant was the hub of the Hispanic community at that time. Because you only had Hispanics in Lackawanna and you had them on the east side of Buffalo. You didn't have no west side, no Buffalo, nothing. Everybody was down there, no cars. So the meeting place was at the restaurant. So everybody either knew me or they knew my family. And my grandmother, whose picture's up there on Niagara Street, was one of the first ones, and nobody had to pay. If you didn't have no money, you ate anyway. So
Right,
So,
right.
Johnny,
that's the way it was.
This is fabulous. Take me through a walk in time, since you were here from like almost the inception, right? From when Latinos and Spaniards started coming to Buffalo. What was that feeling like? What was the vibe in the area, in the neighborhoods? Because you were saying the West Side didn't really exist at that time.
Yeah, but the thing you had in Lackawanna, people were there for the steel plant. But you had Spaniards first, Mexicans second, then the people came from, from Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. But them people, they accepted everybody in. There was no such thing as you're a Mexican or you're a Spaniard. At that time, at one time, almost all the events were held at Spanish Club in Lackawanna, which was founded in 1923.
Wow.
Okay, then the Mexican Club, they built their club. But they always were interchanged, and everything, something happened, everybody was there. They were all Hispanos. And my father's favorite saying, and I can remember this because we grew up in an integrated neighborhood, he was telling me, he would say, nobody's better than me, and I'm not better than nobody.
Right.
And that's one of my, how I try to perceive my life. I always look at it that way. That's why, I get along with everybody. And people seen me, and you know how I'm well known around the community. They understand it that I do a lot of things, but I never looked for a job. I had a job, but I was staying involved in the community and everything. And that was different from a lot of our leaders in the past. Yeah, they were out there, but they were looking for jobs.
Right.
And I never had to do that.
So people in the day knew you from the restaurant and then from baseball.
Yeah.
And now the people, new people to Buffalo, new people. I've been here for 20 years, so I don't know how new that is anymore. But now I know you through community events, through mostly Hispanic Heritage Council, and then I became a director alongside you. So, I find that the Hispanic Heritage Council has really continued that idea of keeping the Latino vibe alive, and in Buffalo, the West Side, but in Western New York. And the kickoff is really like a celebration of all the things that we do in a perfect time because, again, it's National Hispanic Heritage Month. So did you want to talk a little bit about the Hispanic Heritage Council and why we started the kickoff and what we may be doing this year?
Yeah, well, first of all, our idea was to register, preserve the history of how the Hispanics migrated to Western New York. We want to preserve it. We want to make sure it's documented, and we want to make sure that the future sees, before you know where you're going, you got to know where you came from. And it's very important for people to realize where they came from. Never, ever deny your heritage or where you're from. And that's what we're trying to bring forth, because you believe some of these people can't believe how the struggles and all the problems we had just to get what we have today. So, and the Hispanic Heritage Council, we've been able to record a lot of the history through Kaz Rodriguez and myself and the other people on the council. We'd be able to get people to talk and give us pictures and let us know why, how, and what they did to get here to make this community what it is today. So, the council kickoff, we wanted people to know their culture. This week coming, we got the Spanish guitar player coming in. We got a kid from the school. I think it's
School 30.
What school?
230. That's Frank Sedita.
Frank Sedita school coming in to dance. And I made presentations to them kids, and I always tell them straight out, This is your future because they are our future. In 30, 40, 50 years, they're going to be part of our program because this doesn't stop. This is continuous. I'm telling them all the time, you are our future. And so that's what we want to make sure that they understand where they came from and be part of their community.
So I have a fun trivia question. So, a lot of people sometimes they ask me, what's the difference between Latino or Hispanic? Right, and it being Hispanic Heritage Month, we have to also think about those that are not from this community. Maybe educate a little bit more on not just our culture, but how we preferred terminology. So, does anybody know
the difference?
Yeah.
Oh, you're asking us? Or
I mean, I know, but I just want to know if you know, because sometimes Latinos themselves or Hispanics themselves don't know.
Sure. So Latinos in general are people who identify with a Latin American country. So Brazil, who may not speak Spanish, they speak Portuguese, but they are also called Latinos. While Hispanics are derived from Spanish-speaking Spain. I'm not right on that?
You're close.
Okay.
You're close. I love it. See, and that's okay because sometimes us ourselves, we don't really take the time to learn about our culture and the origins and where we come from and the root. So so you have Hispanic and Latinos, right? So for the most part, Latin America, it includes all the Americas, which includes the Central, South, and the Caribbean. That part of the Americas. Now, all of those, for the most part, are Hispanic, which derive from Spain.
Right.
However, you got it backwards. So it does not include, to say Latino, Brazilians, Guyanese, Suriname, and Haiti, because these were all originally populated from other countries, whether it was France or Dutch or...
Oh, that's interesting. I always thought it was reversed.
The
So
other
if
way
anyone
around.
has any more information on that, call in, because that's very interesting. Yes, sir.
Not Haitian. That was Espanol.
Right, but they were inhabited by France, not Spain. That
was
side.
Hispaniola. That's when they took over. That's where the first slaves came to North America.
Sure, so the island itself, when it encompasses both parts, is Hispaniola. However, when it became an independent republic, Haiti Independent Republic, Haiti was then conquered by France.
Haiti was there by France, but originally it was part of Hispaniola. So that's where, like I said, they brought the first slaves over there. And that's why you got the mixture that you have in the Caribbean today.
Right.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah, but the thing is, remember, I don't believe in color.
Right, and we're such a mixed community. It's funny because sometimes people will say, well, she doesn't look Latino, or he doesn't. Well, of course, because we're not just one. We're a beautiful color of the rainbow, like of the box, right? Because like as Johnny was saying, we have the indigenous populations that first inhabited the Americas. Then you have the European settlers, the African slaves that they brought throughout the Americas, and then you have all the different people that came and traveled. So whether it was from the Middle East or Asia, right? And then everybody just mingles and marinates together.
I'm gonna bring you a piece of history that you probably never heard before. But they had a thing from the Dodgers. You heard of the Dodgers?
Yeah.
That, they signed Jackie Robinson, right? Well, they had a thing called the Great. They wanted to find the Great Mystery. Why do Puerto Ricans not consider their people black? They couldn't understand how in Puerto Rico there wasn't a separation between the black. No, he's not black. He's Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
It's language, right?
They try to figure out why. In the United States, they separate them. When you got to the Caribbean,
it's the census, Johnny.
To us, when you say negro, that's cariño. You're talking to a person, say, mira negro. That's a part.
That's cariño negrito.
When you're saying that, they're taking that as a compliment. Over here, they couldn't understand why.
Because they gotta document this, Johnny.
Well, but he wanted to know the great experiment so they could sign Jackie Robinson. That was part of that whole that whole thing.
Right.
So a lot of people don't know that, but that's what they did. They went down there and tried to figure out why you could have a dark person and a light person, brother and sister, one right after the other.
I mean, you could see that all throughout Latin America.
That's in my
But
family.
this is such awesome history. We can talk to Johnny all day long about this because like being Latino, Hispanic, there's so much history behind our community. But you know what? the Hispanic Heritage Council is the coolest organization, one of the coolest organizations. I'm partial because we're all three of us, we're all directors there.
Right. But we do work hard to create a calendar of events for our community and everyone else who's interested in Hispanic events and Latino events during the Hispanic Heritage Month. And so we have a list that we're going to post, if it's not already posted on the website, the HispanicHeritageWNY.org, and you're going to see a whole list of events that we are sponsoring or co-sponsoring. Most of them are free to anyone who wants to attend. And we have a few that are our favorites. Of course, it's the kickoff. The kickoff happens at the Central Library, downtown 1 Lafayette Square. September 14th at 12 o'clock is our start time. And we'll have a bunch of vendors lined up for us. We're really excited that we'll have vendors there and we'll have good food. We'll have food from, I have the person and I can't find my list, but the list of people is great. We have Blue Cross there. We have the Erie County Department of Health there. Kaleida Health will be there. Your Care, Southwest Key Programs. The BPS Parent and Family Engagement, BPS Department of Social, Emotional, and Wellness Support will be there. Bell Center, the Community Health of Buffalo, Roswell Park, BPS Office of Whole Child Initiatives, UB Smile Team, Parent Network, United, what's the HC? I don't know, but I have United HC, Kidney Foundation of West New York, and units. And
but that's just the kickoff, because we have a whole month of free family-friendly events. So
and there's food, though. We can't forget the food. We have to make sure people know there's going to be food at the kickoff.
Do we ever get together without food?
Right,
Come on
not
now.
often.
So what's going on at the Naval Park?
Well, this year at the Naval Park, we're going to have lessons. It looks like we're
Yes.
going to have Bamba and
Yeah. We're going to have Bomba and Plena over there.
Yeah, at the Naval Park. Yeah. Well, we always have something. And last couple of years we had salsa down there.
Yes.
Changing it up.
Salsa lesson stuff, which
Yes.
was very well attended.
Yes.
And the Naval Park. That's it. We used to have the chef with Goya, but we're going to do something else this year.
Yeah.
Got to keep it fresh, change it up, right?
Keep it fresh.
Mhm.
But the interesting thing with the Naval Park, I'm going to backtrack it a little bit because before that is the main event, which is at Kleinhans. And the BPO, we're really excited. The BPO is always very welcoming to our community, and we're going to work with the BPO. We're going to have Fanny and Calvin dance with the BPO during that day, which is September 21st. So that's a Friday. Starts at 7. And they'll start off with dancing with the BPO, and then we're going to have El Pate, which is one of our local dance companies we're really proud of. They just received an award at the breakfast this year, the Hispanic Heritage Council breakfast, and they'll be there, and we're going to top it off with a Puerto Rican dance company. They do bombazo, bomba en plena. They're called Tamboricua. I love that name. And they'll be coming right from Puerto Rico, and they'll be doing workshops throughout the community while they're here. So you'll get a flavor for them. And then they're going to take the whole crew, they're going to do their little bomba dance into the Mary Seton Hall. And then we're going to have a DJ. We're going to have DJ Vertigo there, and he's going to spin some music for us, and you're going to dance. And there will be a cash bar, because that's always important.
Sounds like
Food
you need
and
a
cash bar.
Sounds like you can't wear tacos. You
No,
gotta
don't
wear some flats
tacos,
that
not
day.
yet. Bring pair flats. That's right. That's right.
Oh God! So what about the Buffalo Museum? I'm sure we've got plenty of jam-packed events there too as well.
Yeah, I think one of our directors, Erica Leon, is going to be there, and she will do some cooking with some folks who are interested in Latino cooking. We're using some of our Goya friends products. Goya will send us some products, and they're going to do some
We always have
demonstrations.
Goya giveaways.
Yeah, and we'll actually have some tickets to give away. We don't have them yet, but we'll have about 100 tickets to give away for the museum. So we're really excited, the Science Museum.
What about the History Museum?
Yeah, but we've been doing that every year too. That's a nice turnout there. The kids come and they learn how to. Well, they like to eat, but they learn how to cook the food and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
like that. We did
yeah.
that a few times.
Yeah, and that's science. Cooking is science, right? So that's awesome. And then we have the Naval Park, so I wanted to jump back to that because the Tamboricua will be ending their trip here in Buffalo with the Naval Park, and they'll be doing some dancing with our people who have learned through the workshops. That's kind of cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what about the actual History Museum though? Because we have separate events there.
Yeah, so the History Museum, Johnny will be there with his panels. You want to talk about your panels?
We're going to have, we got the panels that has, that we were able to attract Hispanic community since 1889. First Spaniards that came to Western New York came to Niagara Falls, called the Martinez brothers, and opened up a store. And we were able to go all the way up there till today. And it has the history which we were able to get together and get all the history that we could. And we have a great timeline. And this has every event that went down from the bilingual program opening to the clubs opening, to the community centers opening. It's all recorded. Plus we got all the people that were here in Western New York. You know, they gave us all their stories, and we have them. If you go down on Niagara Street, you're going to see our mottos there, and those panels have all the history of what's going on in the community and what happened in the history of the community.
And they're beautiful, and they're mobile, which is nice, so you can bring them there. And then I think William Rios, another director, will be there doing some art activities alongside
for the
you.
kids, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and more for the kids. And if you haven't seen this movie yet, you need to get on it. It's perfect for the kids, and it's such a beautiful display of Latino culture. So Coco, we're going to be playing a free screening at Albright Knox.
Yes, I believe they'll be doing that, and that's all Albright Knox. It's not that we don't sponsor it, but we thought it was worthwhile putting it on the calendar because they are celebrating Latino artists and this movie, which is a beautiful movie.
A beautiful movie. I've seen it 3 times, and I cry every time.
Yeah, it's a great story. It's
Absolutely.
A great story.
So what else? What other events are some of your favorite events there that we have?
Well, one of the things I want to make sure we get in here in our time is Salsa for a Cure.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, our big event.
Every year we have an event at Pucho Olivention Center called Salsa for the Cure. It's a salsa dance contest, and we have a Chinese auction, and we raise all the money goes to Roswell Park. Last year we knocked in $4,500. This year we want to top that. So the tickets will be out there. It's $25 in advance and $30 at the door. So I want to make sure everybody gets hold of that. That's a big event for us.
Yes, it's a fundraiser that we celebrate dance for a good cause. And Facebook or on the website you'll find more information. So Johnny, thank you so much for coming on air. I know we could talk about this calendar all day because there's so much that we do at the council for the community, especially during this month. But I want to thank you for sharing your history and sharing all the things that we do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us for Sin Fronteras West New York every Friday at 1. Remember, you can always catch Sin Fronteras West New York online and on our Facebook page whenever you want, all the time, 24/7.
And before we end today, I would like to share that there will be a Los Artistas del Barrio exhibition tonight at Paint the Town Gallery, 74 Allen Street. We'll be there. I'd love to see you there at 74 Allen Street tonight from 6 to 11. Good music, good art. And we're going to end with our song just to continue with the Barrio theme. It's a classic from Los Soneros del Barrio called Ahí Namá. This is a great song to dance to. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you tonight at 74 Allen Street, Paint the Town Gallery. Have a great day.
Wepa!
Los soneros del barrio y más maduros. Ahí nada más quieren que goce la gente.
It's another hot day in here, but hopefully we got enough information out there for you. We'll make sure to put that calendar out for you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Adios!
See, we're thinking on the same line.
Bye.
You